up, hard-headed fans? Here we are, episode 16. Uh,
Welcome.
Unfortunately, though, we have to start this episode off with some not exciting news to talk about. Very sad thing. Early this morning at around 2:30, I think the report said a.m., Jeff Gladney got in a car crash and died. Um, Cornerback for the Cardinals, first-round pick for us Vikings a couple of years ago. For those that don't really follow the NFL, yeah, he was falsely accused of domestic violence, domestic assault, which is why the Vikings cut him. Um, yeah, went through the trial, found out he was falsely accused. He was found not guilty, obviously, and then was re-signed by the Cardinals here. What, this past offseason, right? So yeah, he was finally going to get his NFL career back on track. And yeah, died in a car crash today. That's always tough to hear, and especially someone so young, only 25. I mean, I'm 25. So stuff like this, we said it with Haskins, stuff like this is just really eye opening for sure.
Life's short. Life's real short. Hug those you love. I know we only say that when tragedies happen, right? I should start saying that
Right.
on every pod. I should just end it with hug your loved ones every day. Maybe I'll turn into Bob Barker's spade and neuter your cats and dogs. I'll just be a hug your loved ones guy at the end.
Spinny, you wanna lead us in the next talk we don't really want to have, but we definitely need to have here?
Can you give me the intro? Give me the intro, and then I'll take the opinion side of this one if you.
Okay, I got you. So, as we all know at this point, Robb Elementary School. There was a school shooting there that's in Uvalde, Texas. Total of, and it's elementary, like I just said. So 19 children died, around ages 9 to 11, and 2 teachers for a total of 21 people that died. And there was obviously a lot of controversy surrounding this. So we're obviously going to get into that here a little bit. And so, Spinny, why don't you just start it off?
So I want to start off too.
First, before we give our opinions here, let's take a moment to say rest in peace to these 21 people, especially the 19 kids that were obviously taken way, way, way too soon. So rest in peace to these 21 beautiful souls that were lost too early.
Agreed. Well, number one, I just don't want to be saying that again.
Right.
It's a hard one for me, right? Because I feel like turning kids' deaths into political arguments is not good looks either direction. But it just comes down to the fact of the exuberant amount of more deaths by gun massacre, such as this, that happened in the United States compared to every single other country in the world. It's like I forgot to look up the actual number, and that's my bad on that. But I think it's 280 if I have to remember school shootings in the United States, and 8 in the second highest other country other than the United States. That fact I know for sure. I can't remember honestly if it's like 180 or 280. Either way, it's like
probably closer to 280
amount. Too much. So and people love to go to mental health and go to like what children are being allowed to watch and have influenced them and all that type of stuff. And it just drives me nuts on the sheer argument of the United States having so many more, because every other country in the world has depression, that was not the right thing has mental illness, has like other mental disorders, has like all this stuff should theoretically in numbers be very similar no matter where you're at in the world. And the South and Texas and that area does obviously seem to have a higher number of people that think that radically on one side of the spectrum to use that awful rhetoric to justify what they're doing. But there are also pockets like that around the world and other places as well, and they don't have a ridiculous amount of school shootings. That's the one argument in relative to why it's not guns that I think is BS. And so I just wanted to start with that. And the second thing is that I own guns, right? I'm a gun owner myself. I enjoy hunting. I find that pastime to be enjoyable in the outdoors, and I think killing, using the word killing when references to hunting is not exactly the right word given many factors. But I'm not getting into that. My point is that if I knew that getting more background checks, having stricter magazine requirements, any of those things, if I knew it was going to take me a month longer to get a gun when I wanted to order it, whatever the added thing is, restriction, there you go, whatever the added restriction is, if it saved even one child's life, it would be worth it. And if it stopped even one school shooting, it would be worth it. And I
absolutely.
The argument that, gun restrictions just means people are gonna just get it illegally. Yes, but it is significantly harder to get it illegally, especially for younger people, especially for kids, teenagers. It makes it significantly harder to.
Why wouldn't we want to make it harder to get it? Like,
exactly. And the last thing against the hardcore gun activist people is, because they always go back to the Second Amendment, right? The founding fathers could not have envisioned automatic weapons. Weapons with high magazine counts. I understand the argument too. These
guys are using muskets and stuff.
Well, and I can understand the argument, the magazine count. Well, you can just bring a bunch of magazines. Again, we're making it harder to sneak into places and to whatever when we have a bunch of different magazines that take up more
always
space.
Have a comeback.
Right? But anyways, back to my main point. Sorry, I've been rambling a lot on this, viewers, but if you're just in it for the sports,
there's a lot to it.
Please skip this section. But the last and final thing with that, like I said, founding fathers could not have envisioned automatic weapons. And if this many children are dying, I'm fairly confident would have said, yes, change the stinking law to save people's lives on a massive scale, on a problem that is just in your country on that massive scale. It seems obvious to me. Steve Kerr, Warriors coach, put it about as awesome and bluntly as you could, and I thought it was wonderful.
Check out his interview.
I'm gonna steal it right now for the 3 listeners we have that didn't listen to it. But those senators that aren't voting on the bill for stricter background checks has been sitting in the Senate for an exuberant amount of time. And
2 years.
How long? 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah.
That's what Kerr said.
Yeah, and we're not getting it voted on. So I think it's a fair right as a citizen to call out the senators and tell them to at least vote on it. That's we're not asking for anything exuberant. We're not influencing you on how to vote, but it should be voted on. And because I think a vast majority of the American people
and the House
are on
the bill, by the way.
Yes, the House passed the bill, and I think the vast majority of the American people are on one side of this. I honestly do. I think a vast majority understand that slightly stricter gun restrictions are allowable for saving people's lives. At least that's how it seems to me, and I could be completely wrong because I'm obviously biased. But yeah, sorry viewers, I went on a little non-sports related rant there, but I think it was important, and enough people were talking about it in the sports world to make it relevant here. Mm-hmm. So if you have a different opinion on it than that, I don't hate you. I don't think you're dumb. And I hope we can have a nice discussion, and if nothing else, we can have a nice discussion on sports. I try not to be a push people away with different opinions, so don't take that as I don't like you if you don't have that opinion.
Last point I want to make about
Okay.
this is that regardless of what you think the issue is, obviously, the Republicans usually, they're against the gun control. So Republicans usually say it's mental health. Democrats say it's the guns. Who, regardless of what it is, we're still not doing shit to fix the issue. We're not doing anything. The Senate's not doing anything. Our 50 senators are not doing a thing, not doing a single thing. Why don't we put more money towards mental health then? Like, we should be doing that 100%. Why don't we pass this bill that is literally just giving us more strict background checks and things like that? Simple things that, like you said, as a gun owner, I'm a gun owner too. I would gladly go through that just to, one less school shooting. Like, if Robb Elementary didn't happen, we'd have 20 more people still alive. And this is something that happens at this point at least once a month, and it's getting ridiculous at this point. It's very, I don't know what else to say. We got to do something. So at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we shouldn't be arguing what the issue is, but we should be working together to find a solution, which in my eyes, there's some pretty obvious solutions out there that will for sure at least reduce these numbers. So,
Agreed. And solutions are obviously needed. I wanted to quick sorry to the viewers. I was a little sporadic on that talk right there. That topic gets a little emotional for me, as I feel like nothing's being done about it. So take my points for what they are and ignore my awful speech at some points in there. But we love you all, no matter what you think, and thank you for listening.
If you really want to hear my opinion on it, we can you can just contact me. We'll talk off camera because I'll go in on it for real.
Facts.
All right. Now we're going to talk about some sports now. We're going to introduce a new segment here. We'll probably do it every couple weeks. We haven't really said anything specific, but we want to do it every couple weeks. Good buddy of ours, Mike Brown, he suggested we need to recap some of our worst and best takes. So that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to start with our fat L's, of course. We might as well start with the Suns winning the chips. We both said that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, major L for Spinny and I both. Literally.
Who would have thought Chris Paul would have had like 4 or 5 games in a row of just playing like trash?
Like what he averaged in the last 5 games, like 9 points a game or something. Yeah. So no. I picked the Suns over the Heat in 6. So obviously my Heat to the finals wasn't far off there. And
L still technically.
Yep, still L's. Spinny had the Celtics in his finals, which again, obviously is happening. So props Spinny there. But Spinny had you had him in 5 over the Celtics?
The Suns? I did have the Suns in 5.
I had him in 6 over the Heat. So yeah, kind of, I don't want to say easy wins because it's the finals, but yeah, we thought they were for sure going to win.
Lots of Suns overhype.
They didn't even make the Western Conference Final. So yeah, huge fat L from both Spinny and I. Spinny, you can take the next one.
All right. Well, my next L is definitely back on the NBA special, and and we both did, I believe, on this, but putting Jimmy in the All-Star tier with the likes of, man, I put guys like Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal ain't doing what Jimmy just did. No chance, no shot. So I gotta put some respect on Jimmy's name. Jimmy is a superstar or borderline superstar.
I'm literally wearing his Wolves jersey just as respect for what we just witnessed, that playoff run.
Jimmy is a top 15 player in the league. I think sometimes he's as high as 10 to 12, and sometimes he's 13 to 15, just because of maybe his shooting inconsistency.
Lack of shooting.
Yeah, it's shooting inconsistency. But in the playoffs, he is also an absolute baller, and I will always have mad respect for guys like that. Like, one of my favorite, used to be one of my favorite players, Rajon Rondo. Favorite thing about him too, way better stats in the playoffs than in the regular season.
Playoff round.
Jimmy went from 22 a game to like 28 and a half. So that is an absolute ridiculous jump, season to playoff. So big shout out to Jimmy there, and I got to take my L because I had too low.
Yeah, I guess I could have put that because I'm almost positive I had Jimmy in the All-Star tier as well. So that's another fat L that I shared with you, but I didn't put it on there. My second fat L would be my mock draft. Obviously, mock drafts are usually always terrible, but I want to just specifically mention the QB situation. I took a risk here and said 5 QBs would be taken in the first round. Wow, was I not even remotely close with that? I knew it was a gamble from the start. I just figured the teams would, given this obviously quarterback league, teams would take the risk on these guys that Spinny and I both said aren't very good. So it's nothing along those lines, but the fact that I said 5 would be taken in the first round and only 1 was taken in the first round, yeah, that's a fat L by me. Malik Willis, second QB drafted, 3rd round, right, Spinny? So there's only 1 QB in the first 2 rounds. That like never happens. And first QB was what, pick 20, 21, and I had 2 QBs, if not 3, before that even in my mock draft. So yeah, just L's all around on the QBs for me in my mock draft, which was what, episode 11, I want to say, for those. We're going to have links, as you see. They'll be popping up. So if you want to go check out the actual takes, just click these links and you can go to those previous episodes to see them.
Yes, sir. So last L for me was only a partial L, but I thought I was hot enough about this one that it was really still an L. And that's Avs. I had Avs sweeping the Blues. That series was close. That series was good. The Blues played them tough, played them strong. We're down 3-1, came back, tied the series, lost. Absolutely wonderful grind out series. I thought the Avs were going to dub them. So even though the Avs pulled it out, the series went a lot differently than I thought, and so I can't take credit for that. So yeah, Blues really played their butts off, and now Avs have Edmonton, and I might be a little sketched out about my championship pick there because my guy Connor McDavid is doing some superstar stuff. He's a real superstar stuff up there in Edmonton again. So yeah, but Avs probably still the better team, could win it. McGregor factor or McDavid factor, sorry, is always crazy there for Edmonton. So yeah, little L's in the Avs for me. Thank goodness though, because I hate the Avs.
Same. So my last fat L was, I guess I can't even necessarily count it as a fat L yet, but I'm already chalking this up. I'm kind of worried where they'll end the season at. But my MLB predictions for MVP were Vlad Jr. and Soto. Wow, they're just off to a ridiculously bad start. I shouldn't say ridiculously bad, but for their standards, ridiculously bad. And definitely, I don't think they're going to be able to turn it around enough to win MVP. That's for damn sure. Vlad's only batting .256 with 9 home runs and 24 RBIs. Like Jose Ramirez got like 50 RBIs already. So like just he's not going to be able to come back for sure. And then Soto only batting .236, 9 home runs and only 16 RBIs. Yeah, that's not a good look. I'm Spinning. I'm pretty sure you even picked Juan Soto to win MVP. So they're not off to a good start.
Correa to win MVP, actually.
For the AL.
Yeah, true.
I know.
But, you're right. I picked Soto in the NL.
Terrible starts for those two. I'm already chalking that up as a fat L for me. And yeah.
So what happens if you get a fat L on the fat L segment and one of those guys does win MVP? Then what happens?
Yeah, so then is my take like a good take?
Your take is voided. Your take is voided
because I counted it a fat L already, right?
Yeah, it's voided because you skimped on it and you said it was wrong, and then you can't go back on the go back. So
no, I agree. That's facts.
Now, I'm gonna laugh in your face if that happens.
With how many? I'm gonna laugh in your face if the Avs get swept by Edmonton or something. I don't know. Screw you.
Yeah, that's true. But your L's are awesome.
Well,
Bus has worse L's than me, by the way. Bus has worse L's than me for sure
How?
on these comparisons. So
We got like the
just
same ones. Oh,
no,
I
yours
hate
are
you.
worse. Yeah, yours are
I
definitely
hate you.
worse for
We have the
sure.
same.
Like
We have the
way
same ones.
worse.
I hate you.
Who has MLB MVP predictions wrong? Jeez.
Oh my god, and you don't.
Nope,
Correa and
my
Soto at
Correa,
2-2.
Correa's got the dub shot still, baby.
All right, whatever. For all the L's Spinny and I have taken so far, we have taken some dubs.
We have
So
got a couple dubs.
Spinny, you picked the Celtics to win the East, all in 7 games. Obviously, the Nets was a lot quicker than we expected, but you were completely right about the Bucks and the Heat series. 7 games too. You got that right in the correct amount of games. So, wow, mad props to you.
We had faith in the boys this year. And by the way, I'm going to take this segment because I don't really need this at all. So I'm going to take my time here and talk about Jaylen Brown because, man, I understand Tatum won MVP. I understand that.
Oh, come on. We're going to talk about this series in a bit here.
Yeah,
don't spoil it too much.
But my man Jaylen Brown, avid consistency, scored over 18 in every game in the series. So big shots to my man Jaylen. All right, what's your first dub there, Fetty?
So I'm counting my all NBA teams, my predictions for those 3 teams as a dub. I got all 15 players correct, and the only thing I got wrong was I put Trae Young on second team and Curry on third, and Curry got second and Trae got third. So not far off at all. Definitely got all 15 players right, even Pascal. So that was surprising.
Ooh.
And I got some tough ones in there too. Like obviously we had no idea what they're going to do with the Embiid Jokic situation, so I accurately predicted that. Threw Pascal in there. LeBron on third team. Obviously, people just thought he'd get second team just because his name's LeBron James. So there was a lot of question marks, but yeah, I was 15 for 15. So I'm proud of myself.
Especially someone who gags over LeBron as much as you do, putting him on 13. That was a really unbiased good prediction there.
I was gonna say, you know me, come on. I try to give unbiased predictions, but obviously with some things my bias is creeping in a little bit.
Yeah,
sure.
That was good. That was good keeping the bias out there.
All right, we're gonna just jump to your anything and everything NIL. This is not a freaking dub, and I can't stand it here on the screen anymore.
Dub!
Oh my gosh! If you guys watched the episode last week, we got into it about this dilemma here.
It's awesome because I was so unbelievably right about this, and all the people's had my back on it. That
who had your back?
Every single person.
Who's everyone? I didn't see one person comment. They're in agreement with you.
All the Hardys were on my side. They literally were.
The Hardys.
All the Hardys knew that Spinny had that one completely right. And they will come out and they will voice their opinions because they were listening. The Hardys had my back. And so, yeah, I won that segment so unbelievably well.
No, you didn't.
It literally had to go on here. And Bus was so wrong. And everyone knows and everyone agrees. So, yes.
Yeah, so I'll just prove you right now. You self-proclaimed a W on an opinion piece that doesn't have a solution in the foreseeable future. So you didn't win anything. This is not a dub.
No, but see, my opinion was
if we're going to dub our fans, the Hardys,
opinion,
get this man out of here.
My opinion was
There's no right or wrong.
It was so
How is there a right and wrong in that?
Because it's just when your opinion's so bad, it's just wrong. It's tough. It's tough when it gets to that.
And that's my point. What
that's where you're at. I'm basing
this
off of common opinion. Common opinion. Yours was so far off everyone else's opinion that you were just else.
And that's completely
and I was
completely inaccurate because everyone I've talked to since that episode has been on my side. So I don't know what you're talking about. Not Cap.
Not Cap. Caps are on.
So yeah, if we're dubbing our fans the Hardys just know this is not a big dub for Spinny.
Giant.
Not at all.
Huge.
There's not a dub.
Gigantic, actually.
Gross.
And credits to the boys this weekend for the Hardys name. I really wasn't sure if I was vibing it or not, but
yeah, are we picking that? We running with that?
I don't know. I threw it in. I feel like it kind of came off the tongue well. It might work. I don't know. If the people have a different opinion, let us know. But I kind of like the vibe. All right,
That's what I'm
boss.
saying.
After
We could drop
after
a
that,
tweet.
yeah, we can drop a tweet maybe. But I
Tweet
want
with a
some
poll.
before we drop a tweet. I want some opinions. So if you actually even give a crap, then
Yeah,
tell us what's
comments
up.
up. Come
You
on.
don't even have to comment it publicly. You can DM it to us. Most of y'all have my number, have my social media contact. We're checking the hard-headed pages. Let us know. We be on that. So otherwise, yeah, we might slide with it. We'll see. But I want some opinions. All right, boss. We kind of turned my W segment into your L segment, so now you really need a W segment. And so, can you take your second?
Get
W,
out of here
please?
with this. Oh,
Second
Spinny,
W,
you're
please,
lucky.
boss.
You're lucky you're not recording with me today, because I would have kicked your ass in person if we were sitting next to each other.
That's
you little
extra
rat.
cap. Extra
You're a
cap.
little
But
rat today,
just take
sure.
your W. You're losing time. Take your W.
This kid. Jason Tatum coming superstar. I said it. When did I say it? My notes. Episode 7. During the player tier segment, said Jason Tatum be a superstar this playoffs. He's proven it. If you don't think he's a superstar, you're dumb. You don't watch the NBA. Jason Tatum is a freak. What he just did, he just went through Kevin Durant, Giannis, defending champion Giannis, 2-time MVP Giannis, and the number 1 seed in the East and playoff god Jimmy Butler to go to the finals. And if he wins, if he beats the freaking Warriors, we'll talk about that. I want to debate that in a bit when he talks playoffs. But if he beats the Warriors, that's some sort of run right there. Almost the best that comes to memory. So that was a big dub by me. I'm glad I said it when I did, because obviously I would have been late to the party now at this point. So I'm glad I said it when I did, and that made it a dub for me. What's your last one here with the Mavs, kinda? What do you got?
Well, okay, so we did our NBA predictions episode, and I did pick the Suns to beat the Mavs in the second round, but that was when Luka was injured, and I didn't know how long he was going to be out. Could have been out 3-4 weeks, so I wasn't quite committed to my prediction, but I did have them on my sleepers pick, and I said if Luka was healthy, I could see them going all the way to the Western Conference Finals for sure, but maybe even the finals. Didn't make the finals, but the Mavs, I was high on them going in, high on Luka. I thought Luka was that blanking good, and he is second best player in the league, Luka Doncic, in my opinion, right now. So, yeah. So I think I'm going to take the dubs from the Mavs. Yeah, he is. Giannis, Luka, top 2.
That is hardcore recency bias. Luka's not even top 3, so that's for you.
Recency bias, 3-time first team in his first 4 years, 3-time All-NBA first team in his first 4 years. Recency bias, huh?
He hasn't surpassed 3 very noticeable names. 4, actually, probably. So,
well, I mean, he has as many All-NBA first team as Kyrie, Dame, and Russ combined, and he's 23. So,
and none of those guys are ahead of Luka on my list. He has not surpassed Giannis. He has not surpassed LeBron. He has not surpassed Curry. He has not surpassed Kevin Durant.
LeBron couldn't even make the playoffs with his team, and Luka took an arguably just as bad or worse team to the Western Conference Finals.
Spinny, we're not dealing with this. You get out of here. What has dropped LeBron out of your ratings? The dude just averaged 30.
Not making the playoffs is kind of a nice little drop off.
On that bum ass team.
Luka took a bum team to the Western Conference Finals.
Way better than the Lakers roster. Are you dumb? Slightly.
AD's still the second best player on the Mavs.
AD doesn't play. He didn't play. You can't say AD. What are you talking about? LeBron played almost the whole season without AD. What do you have, 20 games?
20 games more than Luka had.
LeBron's second best player was Russell
Luka's never
Westbrook.
played with an all-star. 3
Russell
first teams never played with an all-star.
Russell Westbrook.
All right, we're not talking about the Lakers. Why do we let the Lakers on our pod? We can't do that. We can't let the Lakers on our pod.
Because you're trying to say, you just said Luka's the second best player already.
He is.
No, he hasn't surpassed those three greats. He is not. 4, actually. I named 4. He's not surpassed any of them.
Take your last.
You're baked if you think that he surpassed Curry or KD or any of these people. What are you trying to say? I don't get it. Curry just beat him.
He's better right now than them.
No, he's not. Curry just beat him.
Curry beat him with a stacked team compared to Luka's.
You always have some sort of backup for your boy Luka.
Come on. If you don't think Luka,
he's top 5. He's not 2.
I think
That's
he's
absurd.
2.
That's absurd.
You switch Luka and Curry, and the Warriors are winning the series too.
No,
Yeah. What do you mean? No.
we'll get into
Come
Luka in a little bit
on.
here. His defense is so ridiculously bad. He
Oh,
doesn't
Curry's
deserve to be in the
isn't.
top.
Curry's isn't.
Curry is a better defender than Luka. Luka doesn't move his feet. Spin, you watch the games? He doesn't move his feet. He gets scored on.
Watch the games.
He gets scored on no matter who is guarding him.
Curry has scored on all time.
All right, we'll get into this in a little bit. My last dub here.
How do we let this get? Okay, first before this, how do we let this get to be an argument about this? We can't.
Because your big dub was your Mavs, and then you said something really ridiculously dumb. So then I had to roast.
It wasn't dumb.
Then we had an argument. That's what.
All right, this was an.
This
L
is hard-headed, Spinny. We argue here.
This was an L for me and a dub for you, so you can take this last little.
Yeah, and an L you haven't accepted yet. By the way,
it's
we
true.
say this how many times? Can you pay up on this bet, please? First bet we had on this show, I won.
I haven't paid up on it yet, yeah.
And not only did I win, I destroyed the bet. I picked the 2 teams I actually went to the championship. He picked the 2 teams that lost in the Final Four. So, yeah, that was on our NCAA special. Click that link to go watch that. Spinny picked Duke and Nova. I picked UNC and Kansas. So, Spinny's supposed to wear a Kansas shirt and do something. I want him to sing the school song. I think that would be hilarious. But Spinny needs to get this Kansas shirt first so he can pay up on this bet. All right, that's it, though. That's our fat L's and our big dubs. Hopefully, we have more dubs going forward than L's. Or at least me, not you.
Too, though.
You'll
some of you might think this segment is an L or a dub, depending on who you are. So,
right, this one, wow. So we're throwing this out. Spinny, what you want to tell the fans why you wanted to talk about this week?
Yeah, because and it's funny because I don't have this movie on my top 5.
Right,
but it is an awesome movie and would definitely be in my top 10. The Sandlot. And it gets hated on a ton on social media, specifically by our one friend who will remain nameless because he doesn't listen to the pod. So when you're not a Hardy, you don't get a name drop. So, but he especially was saying Sandlot isn't even a good movie or wouldn't even classify it as a sports movie. And that's kind of what brought this up. The Sandlot is an awesome movie. These movies are slightly better. And also, I have included one on my list that might not be what you would call as a classic sports movie, but on this pod, we are free and open to all kinds of sports movies. And
all kinds of sports.
I included it.
All right, boss.
How about you give us
I'll just give
the list.
Yeah. So first off,
or read the list first, I guess.
Huh? Yeah. So my 5 that I put, Spinny and I did think about rating them, but like we literally just couldn't come up with a rating. So I just threw down 5 movies that I would probably have in my top 5, I think. And that would be 42, a baseball movie about Jack Robinson, Remember the Titans, Hoosiers, Coach Carter, and Space Jam. So obviously 3 basketball movies, 1 football and a baseball movie for me. I just love all these movies. Obviously I'm going to be a little more biased towards the basketball movies. That's why you see 3 of them creep in my top 5. But at the end of the day, I'm a huge sports movie guy, and I have a whole list here on my notes of more movies that I wanted to put in here, some of which you have written down. So if you haven't seen somehow any of these movies on our list, get going, because these are all classics, and especially Spinny's list. This man got Miracle and Rocky on his list.
Yes,
but
so my list, Remember the Titans and Coach Carter. Those are our 2 common ones. And then we got Rocky, Miracle, and Talladega Nights, The Ballad of a Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
That movie is
so
a sports
funny.
movie. It's about NASCAR.
Yeah, it's about NASCAR.
It's absolutely freaking hilarious. I love Will Ferrell. It has some nostalgic qualities. It's funny. I'm going to tell this story because it's so funny and it relates. I used to watch a lot of NASCAR with my grandpa. He grew up around racing. It was kind of our thing when I was a kid. And so when this movie came out, I was, man, were we like, I feel like we were like 12 or 14, somewhere in that like 12, 13, 14 range. I can't remember the year on Talladega Nights. Bus will find it for me and I'll know, and he'll let me know. But I went to this movie with my grandfather.
2006.
2006. So I would have been 9, actually. 9 years old. My grandfather thought this was a racing movie. He was a little not exactly in touch with reality, but he thought it was like a serious racing movie. So we went to it when I was 9, and obviously it was not what he thought. And he was like, "What is it?" And I'm just like dying, like a 9-year-old kid, never been exposed to like raunchy comedy
Right.
and stuff like that, and I'm just losing it, just absolutely dying. And my grandpa's like, "Should we leave?" We actually stayed the whole movie. It was absolutely hilarious. One of my funniest look back memories, and that is also why I have Talladega Nights on this list. Little sentimental. Love my grandpa, so
Right.
that's
And
why we're at here.
Spinny, when you thought of these movies here, you were just picking your favorites, right? Not like
Yeah.
technically what you thought would be viewed as the best sports movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only iconic one I had on here that isn't really my favorite is Rocky. I think Rocky 3 is probably my favorite, if I gotta be honest. It's got the most fighting in it. But yeah, I like the Rocky series, but I think it's super iconic. It's one of the most awesomely done
Right.
movies series, especially sports movie series. So that's the only one I included that might not exactly be my favorite, but I think I deserve to be on this list.
Yeah, and that's why I said that is because I didn't include the two noticeable ones from your list, Rocky and Miracle. That if I was actually considering or making the list of the top sports movies, it'd be based off of grossing, what they made money wise, ticket sale wise, and just that nostalgic aspect of the movie as well. So obviously Rocky and Miracle, great movies like that, especially Miracle being based on true story. So I didn't include those on my list because they're not like my personal favorites, but they are definitely some of the best, if not the best, sports movies of all time, for sure. Some other ones on my list here on my notes, more sports comedies. We got Benchwarmers about baseball. We got Dodgeball. That movie is absolutely hilarious.
Okay, Dodgeball, that's in my honorable mentions too, honestly.
Right, exactly.
I love that
movie.
movie.
Friday Night Lights, Radio, White Men Can't Jump, The Blind Side, Moneyball.
Oh, The Blind Side.
Yeah.
I choked.
Bro,
I choked
there's
Moneyball. I choked Moneyball.
Moneyball,
probably.
The Blind Side.
I'm probably taking Moneyball over Rocky. I'm sorry to all those people, but Moneyball's probably my top 5. I forgot.
I mean, the list goes on. We could literally sit here and talk sports movies forever because there's so many
Oh
good ones.
yeah, sports movies are lit. Yeah, roast our list a little bit. I don't know how you could. I feel like our lists are pretty foolproof at this point. If you don't like any of these, so 3, 3, 2 is math is hard. 8. If you don't like any of these eight different movies we have on our lists, meh for you as a person.
Meh.
Meh.
I like that reaction.
JK, but seriously, if you have bad movie taste, if you don't like these 8 movies. So yeah.
Well, Spinny, you know what time it is now?
It is time.
I need to get back on the winning schneid because holy moly here. Please.
Is it time for you to lose, Bus?
Trivia gods here. Please let me get back on the winning schneid. We tied last week.
You have a theme for me today, Bus?
As always, what do I base my questions off of?
What? I don't know. What do you base
things we talk about in the episode?
Oh, like
or
a
things that
boring
happen.
guy, like a boring, maloring guy. Jeez.
At least better than you, that literally comes up with the hardest, most ridiculous, not known questions of all time.
What do you mean? That's you. Your questions are harder than mine.
That's
definitely
cap.
Harder. No, it's
all right.
not.
Give me the easy question. I want to answer first.
No, you go first. Honestly. I am the current winner.
Fine.
I've had two
Fine.
wins and then a tie.
I don't want to hear it.
So
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
you can go first.
Okay. My easy question. Hoosiers is about a high school basketball team from which state?
Indiana.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, don't tell me you don't know this. Yes, Indiana, correct.
My easy question. The main character of Moneyball, the GM, what was his
Billy
name?
Bean.
Correct.
God, that is actually such a good movie, though. Oh, my gosh.
It literally is.
Okay. So, as you know very well, your boys, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both average over 24 points per game in this series, in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who was the last duo to average 24 plus each of them in a conference finals? Notice how I said conference finals, could be East or West. Who was the last one to do that? So think about what teams have been in the conference finals in the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. I don't know how far you think you need to go back, but last duo.
Yeah, it's got to be LeBron and AD.
Correct. Good job. AD averaged 30, LeBron averaged 28. 3-1 lead for Spinny. I was hoping you'd pick the Giannis because Chris Middleton was at like 23.7.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was almost Giannis and Chris Middleton.
Okay, my medium question. Again, man, we must have read each other's minds on these questions this week. But Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were the two leading scorers on NBA Finals participant. They were both under 25 years old. This has been done 2 other times since 1990. So in the last 30 years, this has been done 2 other times. I am giving you double bonus so you can get up to 4 points in this question. If you can get, it's 1 point. You have to get.
So I only need to say the one duo.
You only need to say one out of the 2 duos. But if you get them both, I'll give you double points. Yep.
Okay. And so I understand this question correctly. So, say the beginning part. Most points
They were the top under 25 years old, top 2 leading scorers on a team that made the NBA Finals.
On their team. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Kobe and Shaq. And okay, you said last night since 1990. Under 25. Fuck, did they go that early? I'm sticking with Kobe and Shaq as one. Even though I think Shaq was older than 25 when that happened, and I don't know. And made the finals. They just had to lead, so it was nothing based on points, right? They just had to be 1 and 2 on their team.
Yep, 1 and 2 on their team.
Who would have it been? You can calm me down whenever. I know I'm taking a long time.
Kobe and Shaq was your only answer?
Yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
5, 4, 3, 2,
25
and 1.
KD and Russell Westbrook.
I absolutely hate you. KD and Russ was correct.
Shaq
and Kobe was not correct. Shaq was over 25.
Yeah.
Yep. The correct answer did include Shaq, though. Shaq and Penny.
Shaq
The
and
Magic. That was the correct answer.
I almost said Shaq and Penny instead of KD and Russ. That would have been my second guess. Okay, so I still got 2
think
points.
you get 2. Yeah, so you tied it up.
Let's go. We still need to like come up with like a sound tiebreaker.
I know.
Not something that we like randomly come up with on spot, but like I don't know. We need to brainstorm about that.
We do. Hey, and give us some ideas, huh? Other people? Trivia ideas for
So yes, facts. More trivia ideas from the fans, please. Spinny, your hard question. So Adley Rushman, top prospect in baseball, he hit a triple for his first MLB hit, right? I'm sure you saw that. 2 other players have done it in Orioles history, both in our lifetime. One being Manny Machado. Who is the other player of the 3 to hit a triple as their first MLB hit on the Orioles in our lifetime?
In our lifetime.
Yeah. This guy retired like 2 years ago, I think. He's retired. Retired player. He played his whole career in our lifetime. On the Orioles, obviously. I really don't think you can get this.
He played most of his career on the Orioles. Triple.
Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I would have to look at his stats to see all the teams he played on. I couldn't even tell you.
There's 2 of these people that I can guess between.
So 3 players.
3 players.
3 players in Orioles.
Adley Rushman.
Manny
and
Machado.
2 others. Manny Machado.
I told you Manny Machado.
Okay.
Who is the other one?
Omar Vizquel. Final.
Matt Wieters, catcher Matt Wieters, 2009.
What the?
Never heard of Matt Wieters?
I have heard of Matt Wieters, but like, holy random guy I never would have guessed in my entire life.
Right. That's hard. That's why it's a hard question. I wouldn't have gotten it either.
Who leads the major leagues in batting average currently? Min 12 games played. So
minimum 12 games played?
Yep. So about 1/3 of the season, just over. Minimum 35% of the games.
You're such a rat for doing 12 games. There's so many people it could be then. Oh, who's got a ridiculous batting average? 12 games. Okay, I'm gonna rock with this can't be right at all. I'm going Luis Ariz.
That is incorrect. I'll give you one more guess though, because it's really, really hard. He plays in the AL.
Can you give me the hint of, is his batting average over 400? Like he's just got a ridiculous batting average because he only played like 12 games or what?
It's 395.
395? Jeez, that's pretty damn impressive. AL player, who would have got off to that hot of a streak?
This is the hard question.
I figured it wasn't Ariz because obviously Ariz has played a lot of games, but I know that his batting average is like 360 or something ridiculous. So I had to throw him out there. Honestly, I don't even have another guess. Just tell me.
It's a catcher?
It is a catcher. That's kind of what I thought. Who is oh man, what is his name? Francisco Mejia. Final answer.
That was a good guess, but no, it's Sam Huff, catcher for
Sam Huff.
The Rangers.
What the hell that is? Oh.
Well,
yeah,
shoot.
tied again. But you're still. That means you're still winning in the all-time race. Dang it.
Means you still have to go. It means you still have to ask me first.
I hate asking you first. So.
Well, maybe you should win so you can ask me first.
You're not wrong there. You are not wrong there. All right, let's transition to our last segment here.
Yes,
We're going to
sir.
talk. We're just going to recap our conference finals here. Just reactions to what we saw, especially in Game 6 and 7 for the Celtics Heat series.
We love
And then we're
this
going to give you
segment.
some finals predictions.
This is
Let's
basically
just
the
start in the
Dylan
West.
wins segment.
Let's just start in the West since we obviously said this
The
last week that
West, come
come
on.
on, there were games. They did win it. We were right. They were going to get the gentleman swept, like we said last week. Pretty on par with what we expected. But I just want to roast Luka. His defense was so ridiculously atrocious. It
You
was
cannot
insane.
possibly roast Luca. That's the most
Dude.
stupid take I've ever heard, that you're roasting Luca.
Spinny, do you just turn the game off when the Mavs are on D or what?
No, but the only
He is
reason the
so
Mavs
bad
are
at
even
defense.
there is because of Luca. Yeah, Luca sucks
no
on
shit.
D, but you
No
can't
shit.
roast him for that when he's
Yes, I can.
carrying their entire offense the entire
I don't care.
game. What
I
do you
don't
mean
care.
you don't care?
I don't care. His defense
You
is atrocious.
didn't roast Steph
Things-
Curry's defense when he had 400 threes.
Here's
You
the
didn't
thing.
roast Steph Curry's defense in the
Steph
playoffs.
Curry tried, Spinny. Luka doesn't even try. He literally.
Come on.
Oh my God! Let me speak. Because everyone agrees with me. You're so biased about Luka. It's insane. This guy
That's
does
like-
not
oh.
play a lick of defense. He can't move laterally whatsoever. The second the guy drives, watch clips. I should just get a montage of clips.
Luka's bad at D. I'm not debating that. You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
I just don't think
would
it's
never
fair
argue.
to roast him for it.
Yes, it is. Because what
No,
I
it's
saw
not.
is not acceptable from an elite player, especially in Western Conference Finals. There were so many possessions, a ridiculous amount of possessions, especially in that last closeout game, where he didn't even run back on defense. And the guy he would have been guarding if he ran back on defense got the ball and made a wide open shot because he didn't run back. So they got a wide open transition look. Happened so many times. I was literally texting you all game. Oh, here's another time. Oh, Clay just made a transition three. That would have been Luka's guy. Like, at least run back. You're frustrated you didn't get the goal. I understand it. This is not regular season. In playoffs, you got to run back and try on defense. And then when people are driving on him, he just sticks his hands out and then gets mad when he gets a touch foul. But it's like, bro, you're playing with your hands. You're not playing with your feet. Like, oh my gosh, just so frustrating for me because Luka's so talented and so good. And I've said to a zillion people, I've already pledged allegiance to this man once LeBron retires. So I should, of all people, should be allowed to criticize this man on defense because I expect more. I expect more effort, at least. Like, you're so tired. I get you're so tired because you're just going crazy. You're absolutely carrying your team on offense, Ben. I get it, but
you being wrong about that, it's going to be a theme. I'm going to roast you for something very similar to this later on, so you'll just have to wait and see.
One other thing I did want to briefly mention, though. So, obviously, Steph Curry, this is his 6th final appearance. What is his legacy? I want to ask you this question. What is his legacy if he doesn't win? He's 3 for 3 with 6 finals. And what's his legacy if he does win? Becomes 4 and 2.
If he doesn't win, I don't think you can really hurt your legacy at this point. I think he's
has his legacy improved just by going to the 6 finals, right?
Yeah, slightly.
Okay.
Yeah. I put him right around the 20 mark, 15 to 20 all time, I would say. Like, just
right now.
Yeah, 20.
Okay.
20, I think. 20, I think, is fair. That's
what
just
happened?
Like off the top of my head. But if he wins this year,
then
he won pre-KD, he won with KD, and he won post-KD. Right. And especially if he wins the Finals MVP this year, man, I'm putting him top. I hate doing this. I hate saying top, blah, 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 without making the list. But he's moving. He moves up into a different category. He moves into the KD category of greatness as a player if he wins. He's probably got
to be top 10, right?
I mean, I'm gonna say 15 because top 10 is really, you're kicking out like Duncan or Hakeem or
me and you
like that, man. I don't know.
But me and you, when we made our top 10s way back in the day, our bottom 3, because we both included 11, were Wilt, Bill Russell, and KD. So we already had KD in there. If Curry gets a 4th ring, is he ahead of KD?
Yeah, I think he is, but I
Well, then
don't
he's
know if
probably top
I
10.
can't make that. I can't commit to that current list right now. But
Right.
yes,
Okay. Yeah, I was
but
just curious because
but
that.
Curry substantially increases his legacy if he wins. He really does. I
Yeah.
don't think he
Okay.
decreases it that much if he loses, maybe a smidgen,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I
think.
think I think he just mostly has a lot to gain from winning.
I really, honestly, I don't even think it decreases at all if he loses. To be
I
honest.
don't think it all. I don't think it does either. But
Yeah.
I can take an argument
Right.
for
I
slightly.
get your point. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you that because it's obviously been circulating now that they made yet another finals. Like, what is his legacy? I've been seeing that all over social media and stuff. So I thought we should voice our opinions on that. But now let's just jump to the East. Spinny, everything happened how you wanted it to go. Your boys pulled it out in
Yeah.
seven.
Okay.
You said seven,
Woo!
so
I
you
did
knew it
say
was going to be
seven,
back and
but
forth like that.
holy,
Okay,
up by
the
13
last
with
2 minutes, yeah,
minutes.
the last 3 minutes
God,
was
what are we
probably not how you
doing?
wanted.
And okay, this is where I'm gonna roast you again, boss. And you're gonna be
Fine,
surprised because last night my instant
roast me.
reaction was the same as yours, but my night sleep on it reaction changed a lot. I think Jimmy Butler's three at the end was a smart shot. I think it was a good shot. I think it was a smart decision on the shot because Jimmy was absolutely gassed. Played every single minute of the entire game. The Heat were gassed. I think that break between when you're going to overtime is just like, I don't know. I think they would have came out slow and down and it would have been
You're
rough. I
saying
don't
so?
know
You're
if
just saying
Jimmy
he just wanted the game to be over. Is kind of what you're
he
saying.
wanted that win or loss shot. And here's the thing.
I can respect that.
There's also no guarantee he makes that too. Jimmy shoots transition threes in this playoffs. He shot transition threes at
He's
48%.
hitting them.
48% in the playoffs. So he hits that shot, especially he hit one earlier in the game on the opposite side of the court in the same spot, though, coming up on the right side, dribbling with his right hand, picked it up and did that same shot. And so I think it was a good shot based on that. And even if he goes in to that two and makes it, the Celtics still have how many ever seconds they're going down to the end of the clock, taking a shot, and your best case scenario is overtime. In this situation, the Celtics aren't necessarily going to run down the clock because they're down one, so they're just going to try and get a basket, and maybe even if they do make it, the Heat probably get another play because the Celtics were down one instead of having a tie where you can run the whole clock down. So I think given all those scenarios, I think that overall it actually was a good decision and a good shot.
I get what you're saying. I still like. I don't think you can use that, and I hope Jimmy Butler wasn't like, oh, I'm pulling up because I don't want to go to overtime. Like, I hope that wasn't his reason because when you see Al freaking Horford backpedaling on you, the only guy in front of you with, he shot the three with 16 seconds left. So I just think you gotta keep that attack going. There was only one guy in front of you. It was literally Al Horford. He's not going to be able to stop you. You hit him with one in and out or one cross, and you're already by him. And he's probably letting you finish because he doesn't want to get the and one. And I'm pretty sure he had 5 fouls too already too. So he would, or he maybe only had 4. But either
The
way,
helper had 5. Jaylen Brown was the offside. Maybe
so
could have got there on the help, but he had 5 fouls.
and especially with how the refs were calling the game, the Heat were so aggressively attacking the rim that they got so many calls and stuff, and they shot way more free throws than the Celtics. Like the chance of him getting fouled is probably pretty good actually. So just in the heat of the moment when I saw only one guy on him and it's Larry Al Horford. Yeah, that's why I wasn't happy with the shot. But like you made good reasons though. I was basically the same as you. I slept on it and I did feel better about it the next day. Basically for the reasons you said. So yeah, it's tough. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's not that bad of a look. It was an open
It's an
shot for
open
a guy
look.
like you said that was shooting 48% on transition threes. So essentially 1 out of 2. So Yeah, at the end of the day, that's tough for Jimmy that he missed it. I'm sure he wishes he would have attacked, but um, it is what it is at this point. But Jimmy Butler though, like 47, 9 and 8 with 4 steals
Jimmy
in Game
Butler was
6,
hot in Game 6 and
35 and
7.
9 in Game 7, 26, 7 and 3.5 was his series average. This man showed up, and people giving him crap about the bubble. Oh, the Heat aren't real. That wasn't a real run. You got to shut up now because they just made it. They almost made it to the NBA Finals again, 1 game away. And
And
Jimmy, he did
Tyler
exactly what he
Hero
did.
and Tyler
Hero's
Hero,
playing.
he's basically their second best scorer, right? He is not playing. Bam Adebayo was only successful when Robert Williams wasn't in the game, and
Right.
he couldn't do anything down the stretch either. And they just didn't have any scoring. Oladipo couldn't play, and Max Strus was and Kyle
Max
Lowry.
Strus in Game 5 and 6 was.
Kyle Lowry was actually good down the stretch of Game 7. He made some really nice plays and assists and got some good fouls to go to the line late, but most of that game he was bad. Max Strus, though, I do got to say, that man has some cojones, man.
He was launching them.
Taking that 3-2 when the Heat were making that 13-point comeback in 3 minutes, that one, just an absolute, is to take him from down 5 to down 2 and just absolute cash moneyed it. Oh, oof.
Guy draped all over him.
It does worry me a little, the Celtics' inconsistency to just keep the foot on the pedal sometimes. But it's going to be interesting to see if that was more attributed to how hard Miami's defense was and how hard they played, or if it was a Celtics inconsistency. So we'll kind of see,
Facts.
I think, against the Warriors, a little bit different of a situation because the last 2 teams they played were rock star defenses in the Bucks and the Heat. So I think it might change a little based on the based on the fact that the Celtics should be able to get to the rim at will against Golden State.
Right. There are a number of things. Let's just jump to the NBA Finals now that we've covered those a little bit. Celtics Warriors. Before we talk our picks, there are some things that worried me about these series for both ways. One being Warriors side. If you're a Warriors fan, the number one concern that should be in your mind is the shooting. So think about all the open shots the Mavs got that series. They were getting open looks from 3. That one game, Reggie Bullock was like, well, for 10 or whatever. The Celtics are better. They have better
Celtics are hitting those shots.
That's what I'm saying. So as a Warriors fan, as a Warriors player, anything associated with Warriors, that should be your first concern here is how are you going to be able to defend the 3-point shot when you couldn't even do it against the Mavs? They just shot poor percentages. That's why you were able to succeed. But now you're playing a way better shooting team with way better shooters, or like clutch players. I mean, is what I mean by when I say that, aka Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So that's what concerns me for on the Warriors side. And the Celtics side, essentially the same thing. The Heat were getting solid looks. You know, they have that switch defense, but how is that gonna work against the shooting team of the Warriors?
I think it's going to work great. I do. I honestly do.
Because you saw, even in the Bucks series, you saw the Celtics giving up open threes, and they were living off that. The Bucks just shot like 5 for 35. You know.
Yeah,
this is Steph Curry and Klay Thompson shooting these threes now.
I think Boston's
those are the question marks for me.
Yeah, I like that. I think Boston will focus on making the Warriors drive and letting Rob Will and Horford and Grant pick up those layup attempts on the smaller guards. But I do think that Brown, Tatum, Smart, Grant Williams, Robert Williams, or Horford, those 6, I think whatever your lineup of 5 is with those 6 can almost switch on anybody on the Warriors. And so I think the ability to jump those screens like that, and hopefully they'll push it out more instead of doing the drop on the other side like they did against the worst shooting teams. I think they'll push it out more, make the Warriors score inside against Rob Will. But I think that he's going to be a huge X factor in this series. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, interior play, I agree, because you know you got Rob Will, even obviously Grant Williams has been amazing in the playoffs, and then Al Horford
too.
He's had a lot of great games. Those 3 guys, they could eat on the Warriors, given that Looney and Draymond are basically their own bigs. So
Yeah.
and they're both undersized bigs. So
And foul trouble against
right.
Boston, who's going to go to the rack all the time. That's
Yeah. So Spinny, I'm assuming you're sticking with the Celtics. What's your pick here?
This is probably the hardest pick, I think, of the season for me. I really see both sides of this. I'm gonna go. I'm going gun to my head here, and gun to my head, playoff experience wins out. So the three teams in NBA history with 2 stars under 25 to make the finals all lost. Experience is a real thing. Being in 6 finals is a real thing. So I'm gonna go Warriors in 7. Gosh, I hate that. Oh, that makes me. Ugh.
Yeah, Spinny. I have been using that reason for picking these Warriors in these last picks. I'm gonna go with your boys. I'm going in 7. You probably assumed I was picking the Warriors. I'm going season 7. I think, as we said, as you just said a while ago, that potential defensive lineup, I like the matchups with the switching. I think they can get this done. It's going to come down to, obviously, as I said, the 3-point shooting. Who's going to take advantage of it more? Because both teams showed defensively that they can give up open looks from the 3-point land pretty often. So it's going to come down to who's hitting the shots. Obviously, there's tons of shooters on both teams, and obviously this definitely scares me picking the Celtics given all the playoff experience the Warriors have. But I just really like the Celtics defense, and I just think it's going to work amazingly. They match up perfectly. All the players, all 5 Celtics starters, for those that didn't know, received a vote for Defensive Player of the Year. All 5. So all 5 of their guys can play defense, not just Mark Smart. So I'm liking the matchups across the board. I'm pushing it to 7, obviously, just given how good the Warriors are. But I think the Celtics are finally going to get this done, and this kind of leads into what I wanted to ask you. If Tatum wins this ring after beating KD, Giannis, the number 1 seed in the East, and the freaking stinking Warriors, what is his legacy already as a 24-year-old?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a top 10 player, and he's got a shot to be something great. I mean,
is he better if he wins this ring? Is he jump or not necessarily Luka? Does he jump Jokic and Embiid, who haven't really done anything in the playoffs?
Boston's team is obviously better than the teams those two have had, but I don't know.
His performance though, he's been the best player.
I see this as D Wade-esque, 2006, where he's the definite standout best player, but the second best player was an aging Shaq, still scored over 20 a game, similar to Jaylen Brown in consistency. And Wade/Tatum is the big takeoff guy. If that continues and Tatum has an amazing finals, then I think he has, a great start to his legacy. I mean, D Wade obviously went on to win, more finals and be an absolute stud and all that type of stuff. So I'm not comparing him to D Wade or saying he's on that level at all, but a finals when you're that young and with more to come. So yeah, I think it's a huge, obviously, step up, and it means for sure superstardom consistently from Tatum, I think.
Yeah, agree. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Who do you got since you picked Warriors? Who was your Finals MVP? I'm sticking with Tatum for mine. Curry, and Tatum, pretty obvious picks there. I can't. Whoever wins this series, I don't envision them winning without these 2 players being the best. So I'm just looking forward to this. It should be an amazing series, and I hope the games are close because Eastern Conference Finals, they win 7 games, but the majority of those games were not close. Same with the Mavs series. So I just want this game to 7 close games, and oh my God, I'd be so happy.
And all you Jaylen Brown haters and doubters, you're about to see again because this man's about to show you again that he's that guy.
Performs.
Too. So
the man has no handles, and he's scoring 24 a game. Like, this dude is legit.
Yeah, how many
People think.
times does he like miss his dribble on the comeback and have to like
Yeah,
figure
and
it
turns
out?
it over. Yeah.
But we love Jalen Brown. We love his competitiveness. A lot of hate with this man, and I love replaying the clips of people saying Tatum and Brown couldn't win together. Tatum and Brown couldn't win together. So shout out to those people right now. So I'm writing a lot of checks, even though I didn't pick the Celtics, but I've been cheering my butt off for the C's. So let's get it.
All right, Spinny. That's it for our actual content today. Did
Yay!
you
Or
receive
boo.
the Dynasty basketball? Are we without Q&A this week?
I think we were out without Q&A, honestly.
Damn it, Forbrook.
I know. I don't know if it was Forbrook or if it was me. I did not remind him. So that is just as much on me not
I
checking
texted
out.
him at like 11 a.m. though.
Today?
And he said okay.
That is on Forbes and a little bit.
What we're talking about, we last week our Q&A, quick, just Dynasty football. Who would you pick? This guy or this guy? Forbrook was going to send us some for basketball, so be on lookout for that. Hopefully, it's our Q&A next week, and because I like that. I liked that how he did.
I like the rankings.
Awesome.
I like the rankings in the Q&A like that. So yeah, right. I'm gonna give Bus a Q&A question right here.
Okay.
So we'll have something for you. Nice little NBA pick 'em for you. Okay.
Sure.
Who do you think it is?
I'm assuming you're going this guy or this guy is your format of this.
That is my format, yeah.
I'm assuming you're saying something. I feel like you want to go Jaylen Brown here, or are you going Tatum and someone here? You're doing one of them. You're not. Please don't tell me you're doing both, because I'm honestly picking Tatum.
Yep.
Tell me what it is.
Tatum or Booker?
To have on my team right now, Jason Tatum. No doubt about it. I just think he's better. I think he's better than Devin Booker.
Okay. Second
Devin.
one.
So Tatum, further my reasoning here. Tatum gives me top 5 player like vibes.
You don't think Booker does?
Booker gives me more like borderline top 10. Okay. Kind of like that Dame range, you know? So
that makes sense.
That's kind of what I see from those players.
All right, second one, I did have a Jaylen Brown one too. I was just trying to pick, so now you're going to get both. Jaylen Brown or Anthony Davis?
Oh. Damn, this one is tough. This one is so tough because you want to say Jaylen Brown given I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go Jaylen Brown. That was really tough. Jaylen Brown's slight edge because 1, he's 4 years younger. It's 25 versus 29. And 2, less of an injury history than AD, especially as of late. So that's why I'm giving Jaylen Brown the slight edge. It's just so tough because when AD is fully healthy and got that motivation and drive behind him, the man's is basically a top 5 player. So I think if AD is healthy and actually playing, he's better than Jaylen Brown. But given the injury history and being younger and already being this good of a hooper, I'm going Jaylen Brown.
Interesting. I just think it's a good take on where AD maybe has gone more than Jaylen Brown. But yeah, very interesting. I think if we would have said that even a year or 2 ago, there would have been many people laughing in our faces.
Yeah.
So yeah. Shout out Hardy's. We made it. We made it to the end for y'all. You know, we're back. Always giving you content. So,
I'm gonna give you.
Let us know if you like the name.
Ooh, I want to give you one.
Gonna change it. Spin around. Come back for a. This is like a Marvel after the credits.
Because if you're throwing AD out here, I'm gonna give you Jaylen Brown and another star who might be a year or 2 out of his prime, but still a god. Kyrie Irving or Jaylen Brown?
What starting on my team?
Right. That's how I took it. That's how I took it. You get him right now.
Jaylen Brown, no question. I get 75 games a year for the next at least 4 or 5 years. Kyrie shows up for half the games. I don't know what I get. Sketchy defense, everything else.
Pretty much same reasons as me picking Brown over AD, essentially.
Yep.
Younger, we'll play more games. So.
And way better at defense than Kyrie.
Facts. That is facts. All right. Yeah. Let us know about the Hardy's nickname. We might drop a tweet or something with more options or something. We want to hear.
Only if you comment on us. So comment on us, peeps.
Comment.
Then we'll drop a tweet. Then we'll get something going. But show us you're here for us and give us something on it. So otherwise, we're on with Hardy's. We love you all.
Hardy's. All right. As always, like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and hug your friends and family. Tell your loved ones they love you.
Yes, do that. Bye. Goodbye.